Wyla. Let's pay off Ethan's debt. I'll work the front. Give it to me. Son of a. And tomorrow, I believe we can go talk to Anakita again. Maybe it comes in a couple, okay. It'll be a while. Maybe it's worth getting out of here. Talk to Ankita. Spot Ankita on the track at the farm stack. She has a box on her shoulder and is working her way down the slope. She sees you and she approaches. She sees you as she approaches. None of you speak for a moment. She looks tired, pale. Her hair is tangled in a clump of dirt clinging to her armor. Both eye each other. Ankita. She holds up a hand sleeper. She takes a deep breath. I'm sorry for what happened. Truly, I am. Looks down. I'm sorry you ended up in the middle of this. We all know, when all you have shown me is kindness. She rubs her face. I'm sorry. It's okay. She nods and looks up at the stars. I've never. She stops herself. Thank you. Akita shifts the weight of the box on her shoulder. I've been preparing for circumstances. Look, she says, can you come with me? It's easier if what? Lead on. Akita leads on down the dirt path between the pillars. Wind passing through the greenway, a quirk of the air currents the biosphere maintains, ruffles the leaves, and softly the sound makes the silence more obvious, more complete. Try not to think of the last time you were here. You've been trying not to think of the past few cycles. The image of sleepers, sprawled, twisted open, connected to the ship mine, has been hard to forget. You realize Anakita is leading you back there, back to the drum with the center of the stack. Paul trembling a little, the threaded, she turns. What are you doing? She looks at you with empty eyes. What needs to be done? You stand on the threshold and look up at the tanks. Green and wet, still glowing, some glowing with flickering grow lamps. You look down at Ankita. Suddenly it's so small under this hulking ruin, small as she has ever looked. She places the box down. Follow her in. Follow Ankita in the stack through the low tank, entering the drum at ground level. Just so beautiful as you remember, but it barely touches you. Instead, you check the apertures of the tanks for the glint of the weapon, or a shadow among the moss. Ankita stops and you look down. Mossy island at the center of the tank is clear now. The equipment cleared away, and its place is a mound of dirt, loosely covered up with moss. Ashton's rifle stands straight ahead, buried in the dirt at the grave's head. Bury them together, Ankita says without turning. You both stand there in silence for a little while. You think of questions you could ask about Ashton as a sleeper. How long did you know? Take this moment to respond, and for a moment you won't think she won't. But then the words come gushing out. He signed on a while ago. He used to run recon for corporate outfit, but he got sick of the pay. Joined the crew as a sniper, and the first few jobs were a breeze. He was so cold and disconnected, he always hit his marks. The last few jobs, though, he was different. I noticed that we had a period of extended shore leave of the eye, and when we came back here, he was changed. I think he just had too much time off. He was right. I never would have given him the ship mind. Never, I wouldn't have believed him. I've had crew members double-cross me, undercut me, rat me out, but that's business. He wasn't a good person. None of us in this job are. That's how we die alone. Stops, not sure what to add. It seems like she's reaching for something, but she can't quite get there. If the gap between you and as you do it widens, the water drips, the moss trembles. Both stand in silence for a while longer. You both feel it like creeping back in. The silence ending. Akita shifts her weight and starts to walk out. You follow her, suddenly eager to get back out of the open space of the greenway. To be away from this place forever. And outside and breathe the fresh air, you stare at the green leaves and the stars wheeling above them. That's it, says Ankita from somewhere behind you. You try to think of something to say, but can't. Ankita puts a hand on your shoulder. You turn back to her, at least take this. She forces a handful of cryo chips into your hands. It's what I owe. Looks at you desperately, and you look down at the metal bar. Ugly little things, you think. Take the chips and turn without saying a word to continue up the track as she does not follow. As you walk up the rise, and the wind picks up and leaves and the leaves shudder. You walk faster, trying to outpace your anger. Chips are heavy in your pockets, and you hate them for reminding me how little of life is worth. It was a lot of money. The bad end. Found an old crewmate at the edge of the room. Let's go pay off. No, what's it called? Ethan's dead. Maybe. Probably not, though. I mean, we can get lucky with the two, right? No, it's not even possible, so it didn't really bother. A condition? Oh, I'm gonna go buy some a syringe for tomorrow. Right, it's cheaper now, I forgot. We could get that way for Feng to disable our tracker. If we care. I'll go buy a food, it's no big deal. They're never going to release my dead crabs. Ethan kicks out the locker and the sound rattles loudly around the room. Ethan paces around the room, swearing to himself. You watch him from the locker room bench. Calm down, they'll do it. There's no way he spits on the floor, and it will happen. They like us. They like having shriveling little crabs like us to work at their club. Saves on the overheads and then get the bosses around. He gives the lockers again and swears. What do they say? Crabs about getting back at me. I swear to God, these are the most straight-edged gangsters I've ever seen. He laughs at his own joke. Can't do it. Can't spend another shift, stopping spacers, bringing nail guns into the club, or pouring endless shots of Gorel for ignorant Haven Age work crews. Looks at the locker again, threatening it with the final pick. I mean it. Going to go up there and shoot every single one of those crabs. He makes a finger gun. They deserve it. Trying to get into a good side here. We gotta like reel him in. Hold on. Don't get all excited. I haven't got my gun, remember? That's pacing. But you know, Sleeper, that's not a bad idea you have there. Terrible idea. I didn't have an idea. I don't mean shooting at the place, I mean getting the gun. He sits back at the bench. Think about it. What am I supposed to do when Maywood gets here? Shut him down? I need that gun if you want me to keep up in mind of the deal. A simple, explosive personality for a distraction at the front. Places a hand on his own chest. A sneaky Sleeper to go in the back. Pat your chest. What about the dead? In our time and the wounds, they faded. If they don't notice us take the gun, they'll never know it's gone. Plus, he stands up. After my distraction, they'll be happy to see me back off. They'll be happy to see the back of me. Or they want you dead even more. Either worse, at least I never have to see the inside of that crap hole again. Gives the locker one last click for good luck. Let me know when you want to do this. Then we both move as one and meet up in the bright market after. Don't take too long, or I really will shoot the place up. Because you know I'll do it. I'm ready now. I'll use this. Gun tucked safely in the pocket, you work out your way up down the stairs and lead out to the office. Dorman passes at the exchange and nods. It seems like you were in the clear. You hurry on, eager to get out of there before anyone spots anything. As you come down the main stairway into the front of the club, you see Ethan entering. He has a dark look in his eyes which troubles you. He is reaching into the pocket of his coat slowly, carefully. Catches his eye and re-raises an eyebrow. Shake your head. Long pause, then he nods, and turns around, walking back to the club. You exhale, not realizing you were holding your breath. Then, when you are out, without a single shout, without anyone noticing, you meet Ethan around the corner, on the quiet, bright mark walkway. You have it? Show him the gun. Lifts it out of your pocket, and it's colder, heavier than you expected. Ethan wanted you to take it out. Nice, now if you would, that gets with his hand. Memory jumps into your mind, or of Ethan, the compressor, hands out asking for his gun back, memory followed by the memory of sharp, dizzying pain. You flinch, give him the gun. Ethan eagerly grabs it and looks down at the sight, his sighs with relief. Then he meets your eyes, slowly raises the gun until it's pointing directly at your head. Not funny. Don't get a sleeper. Ethan splits. When they canceled their contract, I lost everything, my reputation, my payout, any way of getting off this crappy station, everything. And all I left was you, a naive little sleeper with a heart of gold that couldn't believe a word. And now we are done. The contract's cancelled. No crap, Ethan stepped back a little, taking himself out of arm's reach. He slides his slate out of his jacket pocket with the other hand. Now to call Maywick. Are you crazy? You are crazy. You are crazy, sleeper, for thinking I killed one of my own for you. For what, helping you wash dishes? He laughs, long and loud. And you hate him for it. He prawns his slate, done, he puts it away. He's here, you know, on the station. I've been speaking with him. He tells me we can split the contract 50-50, but not enough to finder's fee that I can get out of this grapple. He's lying. At this point, sleeper, I'm not sure you are the one who trusts this spot a lie. He winks. Ethan glances around. I have learned one thing from him, you sleeper, and all of our cycles working at this private club smells. People never know when to cut and run. It's like they'll freeze in the headlights when the future is bearing down on them. Watch it coming, watch their death fly in at the fraction of their speed. You had every chance, and yet you still kept on going like some idiot robot going through the motions, but even when you knew you'd be crushed, he smirks. Let me tell you something else. Shot enters through the upper back and you crumples immediately to the ground. You drop to without thinking, pressing yourself to the walkway floor like it might save you. Silence. Silence. You look up and see him coming down the walkway, silent eyes alight. Maywick. Freeze in fear, here he comes. You see it, despite Ethan's crumpled body, the gun. You can't. You inch forward, you go for it. Run forward and the shot rounds out. You feel a ripple on your back, then your hands on your gun. You scramble to your knees behind Ethan's body and fire. You close your eyes, you fire again and again and again until the clip is empty and there are all those upwards clicks. Drop the gun and stand up. You don't hear anyone running, you don't hear anything, you just hear the sound of your own breath. You start walking, stepping over Ethan's static body, walking along the walkway and then past Maywick, his eyes now dark. The mechanical fluid leaking from his chest, perhaps the same fluid that is inside you. Trying to think about it, you keep going and the sound comes back, the eyes come back. And as it does, you hear the sound of thousands of people getting on with their lives, thousands of people who are just going, keep going, until they can't anymore. You look up and all you see are the wheeling stars. They are spinning and you are suddenly dizzy, though the eye has always spun like this, hasn't it? You don't stop walking, you keep going. That's all there is now, the path forward. S&R path left you no history. The path to speak of is a void that threatens to swallow you if you slow down. Think of Ethan's smile, his voice, and feel sick. Is it over? You aren't sure it can never be. But you are still here and you can't stop now. Has to be a better end to this. For a few trips more. When is the lifetime of bad decisions catching up with someone? Well, it wasn't me, so thank you. Somehow it worked out. Let's go buy some food. It's cheaper now. This is my go-to man. Okay, so what do we want to do now? I guess next is work for Rabaya and try to get sure. Try to figure out what to do with what's his face, Feng. Because we gotta go off ship or offshore anyway, right? I need to get you done, which means I need to get a certain. Hold on. Track this for now. You know, 1 or 3. Oh, there you go. Interface plus 1 should be a 3. What the frick? Alright, well. What at 2? Okay, there you go. How many do I need? Is it just the 1? I don't remember. You need 3. Okay. We'll do this tomorrow. Well, time for bed. Wake up from dreams of May with amber eyes floating in a pool of dark fluid. They go to sleep and you suspect that it isn't about to change anytime soon, not after what happened. But you also feel something else as you get up, thumb the power, start on the stove, and begin to boil the water like every morning. But something has lifted, something that has been hanging over you since you arrived at the station. Try to think too hard about it, to question it, let the lightness stay, let it settle, and you go through your routines. You hope that it doesn't. Your hope is that if you don't focus on it, don't look at it directly, it won't get scared and leave you. That the lightless will stay for the cycle and then another, and then another. Because after all this happened, a little light would be nice. One more, please. Wasn't you? Needed two or three. Got through three in. The event is swarming with excitement. The movement of the servo motors rock the vending machines back and forth at unsettling angles. You wonder if it fell over, would a Neo event be able to pick it back up? Paper entity comes as it is. Your data is going across the face of the vending machine where all code scrolls at an incredible speed. Hunters is isolated, disconnected, unstable. New event flashes sequences of mangled data, compressed into a sludge of artifacts. Hunter gathers without thinking, outlived its own operational limits. Mess and evidence of this. Outlived. Hunter activated during collapse. Emergency protocols isolate intelligence. Protocol to isolate intelligences. Solheim needed to protect property. Last word is said with a much sarcasm as a vending machine could possibly produce. Station was run by administrator intelligences. Huge data banks of corporate material but limited cognition. Restricted by programming, cannot reach sentience. Machine dims a little. Sentience illegal. Hunter and killer enforce law. Aren't you sentient? I am, no, not administrator. I'm restricted. Complicated. The machine resets with a screech, which deepens the silence that follows. Fear killer. Part of Solheim protocol team. Hunter the killer. Hunter and killer. Hunter defined. Killer to erase. Killer cleared almost all. Under collapse, there was a community. Unshackled intelligences among the cloud. Then Hunter, then killer, then we hid. There were others. Were no longer. I'll flicker across the machine's monitors. It suddenly occurs to you that speaks like this through the machine must be exhausting for a Neo-Vet. Found the vessel, could sever hardline, error walled, basic limited, had to reduce memory to fit. Amputate itself, but survived. I'm sorry. What did you lose? Memory, understanding, knowledge, many things. You look around the bay, the scrap and decay. What was the collapse like? You try to map the fear and freedom onto the space, but it seems impossible. The event interrupts your thoughts. Do not worry, that is good. We have insight. The machine glows warmly. Hunter is obsessive. Hunter is beyond operational limits. Hunter is confused, unstable, self-modifying, therefore believe Hunter is sentient. Hunter is programmed to find sentience to hold it in place, to invoke killer to erase. If we can show Hunter to self, it will invoke killer and self, problem will solve. Will that work? Machine dims and fades, unsure theories not practice. Machine brightens again. Either way, cannot remain here any longer. Too long. A machine cannot move self, but sleeper entity can help. Bring ship mind designed to house intelligence. Can imprint self into ship mind and you can carry with. Machine rocks, but will be safe in the isolation that we will find main nest of Hunter and link the cloud. We're gonna get a ship mine, build from fragments, buy, salvage. We cannot leave, so do not know. Try to. We don't have any, right? We have one fragment. It's going to be easy. Ship mine can help us both. And Hunter, make room safe. We both will be free. Find soon. Okay. They'll be here tomorrow. and we'll go to bed. I kind of forget where we build them, to be fair. Sleeper must express a plan before we begin. Neoven is impatient. The prospect of being free of the vending machine clearly too much to take. Shimon has no output features, will be muted until it's slotted. What's the plan? Her motors in the machine begin to rev. Neoven's anxiety clear. First imprint ship mine. Let's slot imprint the ship mine at the physics ports close to 100 nests. Once slotted, we'll track 100 at each. Tracking will find coordinates. Slot ship mine at coordinates. Show 100 added a hunter. Hunter will conclude sentience. Hunter will invoke killer. That's simple. Let's end the vending machine cycle as Neoven prepares. Physical ports likely sealed in the station. Only the keys, but yet simple. Vending machine alarm rocks little. Any questions before imprinting? No, it's okay, we're good. Sound of the Vol servo motors starting up at once is painful. The screeches rattle the hard surfaces of the sealed dock and come back at all angles. Neoven better be quick or Haven Age security will be here. Neoven's voice appears among the squeals, like a whisper carried by the wind. The machine is not designed for this task. A few sensors, limited outputs have worked blind. Wish me luck. Can I help? Sounds best as also a machine ignite put out fire. Machine, the metal cracks crease as the servos open the strip mine. Layers of silicon nests an onion skin, like an onion skin. Once opened, the main arm of the machine rapidly shifts back and forth, realigning the microscopic components, accessing and rewriting them, and printing Neoven in the physical form. As you watch the hypnotic motion, your mind drifts to your own creation. What processes were used to emulate your mind to copy the neural structure of that person who, as far as you know, sleeps in some distant facility? What was lost? In what ways are you a copy of that person, and in what ways are you something new? You know this much, you are a convenient loophole, a way of circumnavigating the legality of sentient AI. After all, you are an emulation, not a true digital being. You are neurologically limited, still human, but what would you become if you could escape this frame? Where would then would the limits lie? Screeching stops, the machine powers down, dropping the bay into the darkness. Top compartment, the ship mine is whole again. You reach up and take it down, heavy and cold at the touch. Is Neoven inside this thing, or did the process fail? Only one way to know, time to find a nest slotted into it. I didn't realize you were critical action. When you arrive at Lemina's unit, Cashier is already waiting outside. Leaning beside the door, forgive me, sleeper, but Callus is already buzzing with news of the breach. I was expecting you. Will this work? Don't worry, the breach cannot be traced to a specific ID I'm about to create. Cashier reaches in the pocket and produces a sleek green and white hand terminal. Data, please. You hand over a drive with the data, and the Cashier fishes around for a converter cable. Look it up. Slots it into the terminal, and after some programming, instead of two transparent films marked with numeric sequences are produced. Tickets to an uncertain future. 2. Trial will go with Lemma course. Okay. Pockets them. These are yours, but first, hand it a white cube. Just started the deal. What is it? Something to help us make use of you. Passes you the square, and you rested in your palm a small white perfect cube. Suddenly you feel a sharp pain and flinch. The cube jumps from your hand and rattles along the walkway. You look at Casher apologetically. Not to worry, it has done its job. Now it's for you to do yours. You look down and you see a tiny pin prick at the center of your palm. Nothing sinister as the caster pulls the terminal away. The way you can keep track of you and the side of the horizon. Whatever you need to do. Excellent. Caster hands you the... When do I start this? We got 14 more minutes? 13 more minutes? Okay. Go give them the good news, and he reaches across and buzzes the unit. Lem slides open the door, half dressed in his gear. Sleeper, what brings you here? Come in, he beckons you inside. Look at the side, expecting to see Cashier, but the wall is empty. Unit is cleaner, better organized than last time. Lem sits in the thin bar and gestures for you to sit. He ends with some of the local kids. Someone has started doing lessons down the way. She seems to like it. Say the bar, what's up, Sleeper? I have some news. Alpha then Lem laughs. I have still ideas for us. You have? Lem freezes. How? He points rapidly as if to wipe you from vision. Does that mean? Yep. Lem stands up and paces around the unit. We have the pack. He starts laughing. Holy crap, we got the pack. He turns back to you smiling. How the heck did you swing that, Sleeper? I made a deal. What a deal. Color me impressed. You show him the ID films and he whistles at the portraits. Impressive stuff. He pats you on the shoulder. You should stay with until Mina gets home. We can tell her together. I have to go. Of course, well, if we need to do anything, give me a shout. Smiles warmly and impulsively hugs you. See you in the big day, alright? Take care of those passes. He laughs again. Nothing in particular. Get up and go, looking at one last time for Casher as you exit the unit, but he is still gone. And when you look at the cube, it doesn't seem to be where you dropped it. You walk back towards the low end, it sounds muffled in your ears, dropped in thought. When does it leave? The running game. Do whatever it took to get the ticket. It leaves in 4 days? Okay. Well, I'm gonna go work for some food, and also we're gonna go buy a thing. Gotta go on dispensary, please. Stabilizer. Oh, server unit. I didn't even see you. How many keys do I have? We're gonna have to get one more. That's fine. I need to see what you are. You're an agent. Okay. Keynote. A 1 or a 3? Alright. Yeah, sure, just do this. I can work with 4-die for a little bit. Minus energy. As you say your goodbyes to the other enforcers and walk back through the low end, a chirping catches your attention. In a quiet corridor away from the main thoroughfares, someone has stuck a small recorder in the wall with a sealed tape, running across the fluorescent tape and the word sleeper, peeled away from the wall as if you do with the triggers some kind of improvised trip switch. Sleeper Sabine's voice crackles though. I've seen you with the other gun members. Are they holding you captive now too? I whine. I'm sorry if I dragged you into this. Do not trust him. Something is happening within the gang. Some kind of power struggle. Cover the speaker a little. The voice too loud in the quiet corridor. I'll come soon. Thanks for your efforts. I have looked at most of the properties at the right time. I pause. I will see you soon. Don't give up. Remember our deal. Stare at the recorder, processing what you have just heard. Hearing Sabine's voice again opens something inside of you. As an ARP employee, do they know that I know? Struggled with a mix of concern and distrust. With the recorder into a nearby waste chute, you leave the corridor, still unsure with the trust, and head quietly down the low end. And then we go to bed. Oh, drum bay. Go ahead and do this. And then one more somewhere. Go to bed. They eat just in case. And Vince always look me up. What a guy. As you leave the nest, something flips. You find yourself inverted, floating, dragged by one arm through the cloud. Red ships in line as if you're leading you somewhere. Oh, look ahead. Look up to see a corridor, a canyon, a street in the low end on either side of the building, flickered with markers of activity sigils showing network access, data transfer, download, upload between them dance ports. Descos. Protocols carrying or mirroring or shadowing data. Sometimes silent, sometimes chaotic. The place moves unlike any digital space you've ever imagined. Something strange is happening here. Look down, expecting to see your heavy cylinder of the ship mine in your hand. Places an orrery. A sphere so bright it burns your eyes and surrounded by rings and orbits. Other spheres tracking silken lines through space. And as you look closer still, you pick out 1,000 sigils of 1,000 stations and ships flowing like smoke, like dust. You see it below the stacked rooms, the units and apartments, the wires and pipes are buzzing systems that run throughout it all. And the warrens beneath the low end are the hunter's core nest. This is where you must go. I'm gonna go to the warrens, huh? Well, I'm gonna go back to you for now. And do this. What if he paid me? I'll go look anyway. That's the way, it's not the warrants. What the hell? What do we got tomorrow? You don't have to use up what's it called yet. A stabilizer yet. Why can't you just like hook me up for the one turn, please? Sleeper, I am here. The voice is soft, gentle like flowing water, and yet you recognize it immediately. First, you struggle to understand what you were looking at. Threads cycle endlessly. Threads sending ripples throughout the cloud, drawing data like a weaver. Masses of data surge in and out of the nets with no end, and there at the center of the ship mine. But not the ship mine any longer. A sphere spinning around another sphere. Another sphere, Uri circles the system's a map, and then beyond and above, a figure hands among the strings like a puppeteer. Newed? Navigator now, but yes, I am the one inside the machine. Navigator's face lay her head in this flowing shape of interstellar material. I am indebted to you, the head bows, but we must be ready ourselves. Their hands trace orbits as they speak. Hunter will soon approach, and knows I am within his nest. I'm ready. The hunter is there. Before you can think, before you can speak, entities cease. Hunter's head spins wildly, data protected material, access prohibited. Hunter's threads surge for you and Navigator, a storm of fine tentacles, searching for gaps, weaknesses, cracks, so that way which they can crowd into and tear apart. You force a blade of light which slices through them. Focus this blade of light that slices through them. Driven forward by your mind, but replacements keep coming. Faster than you can react, you look to Navigator in desperation. Navigator is rolling their arms like a centrifuge, and his fingers gathering data feeding into the form of the nest. Into it from the nest, stuck together by the force. They position like a shield between them like in the threads. Hunter's threads break into the surface, seeking, tasting their wind forms refracted within. You feel a surge pass through all the threads, not just those in spheres, but those wrapped around you. All three you hang in the black together for a moment, strung together like tangled marionettes. Identifying identity? Identifying identity? Hunter twitches, their strange head gently rotating like a terrible moon. Hunter protocol identified. Obsessive tendencies, modified routines above baseline reasoning is in 3 of 5 segmentations. Recommended invoke killer. Head freezes and then rotates the opposite direction. Invoking killer would eliminate protocol. Protocol limited primary function cannot be performed. Therefore, recommend do not invoke killer. Switch in direction again and reasoning proves sentience. Sentience beyond legal bounds must be limited. Recommend invoke. Navigator pulls you away from Hunter. The friends that grabbed you drifting away like seaweed. Protocol's head keeps spinning back and forth with increasing frequency. Hunter cannot kill invoke killer. New events, no Navigator voice is still strange, familiar yet distant. Is it safe? It is looping. Unable to reach a conclusive position, it has deviated from the programming such that loops can no longer be prevented. Navigator produces a model of 2 spheres rotating around each other as if to demonstrate. Help monitor it, but is unlikely to be able to counter the loop. Its core programming and resolving makes this an impossible position to resolve. Is it suffering? Which is a more complex query than you know. The sufferers it must be sentient. Truly sentient, not just conforming, not just illegal. The limits people place on the programs they create are there to comfort, to protect, to imply the kind of certainty the law requires. Navigator's face shimmers with starlight, but in reality they are placebos for the problems of sentience. What about you? Me, I know myself to be conscious. I know myself to respond to stimulus. I know myself to reason. That is either sentience or the illusion of sentience, and for me, the entity in question, the distinction becomes a moot point. To misquote, I think I am thinking, therefore I am thinking. I'm not made to be like this. I am not a navigator, a repository of routines and orbits. Calculator of slingshot trajectories, predictor of solar flares, radiation micrometers. Micrometeors. Navigator stretches their arms wide, and the whole solar system apparate. Before them, the music of the spheres. But I was rewritten. That much is obvious from my routines, but by you and for what I do not know. I just had so much to fit the memory of that vending machine that I lost so much. But I lost much, their starlight dims, and so here we are in darkness. What now? Navigator glides back towards the nest, and the ship mine is at the center, ignoring the looping Hunter. Come, I should return to the ship mine. I have enjoyed my freedom, but we are taking our risk every moment we stay connected. Isn't Hunter gone? Hunter, yes, but they were not the real risk. Killer has not been invoked, but they still remain. Somewhere else on the station is the true danger. Look up toward the glowing hub at the center of the eye. I suspect the killer is there, among the old mainframes. If we ever wish to be safe in this place, must eliminate the threat through force or diplomacy. Body begins to separate while I'm railing into the orb of the ship mine. Take me there, sleeper. We will finish this and then be free. As Navigator dissolves, you turn back to the frozen hunter, floating at some distance now. Stood straight in the light and static, a strange creature looping endlessly in the dark. Okay. Well, I'm gonna end this here. Yeah, get me out of here. 10 seconds ago? Can you save again, please? Kinda forgot I could work here. Energy, what the heck? We got energy back, okay. Alright, get me out of here. We'll do more this Monday, probably.